It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Sportsnet LA presents the Dodgers as they take on the Washington Nationals. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the Nationals opening up. Washington arrives, having surprised everybody by losing 2 games in a row in San Diego. They're still 5.5 in front of Miami and 6 in front of the New York Mets. By the way, the Pittsburgh Pirates played host to the Giants and beat them tonight, snapping their 8-game winning streak, and of all people, they beat Madison Bumgarner. So for the Dodgers, they got a big lift there and maybe an even bigger lift. All the day we've been thinking Steven Strasburg going up against Clayton Kershaw. Strasburg 10-0, no record against the Dodgers last year, 1-0 lifetime, an ERA of 1.7 against them, 25 strikeouts and 3 walks. And about an hour ago, we find out he is not going to pitch. He has a strained upper back, and he's not going to take the mound. Yusmeiro Petit, a reliever, basically 2-0 record. He's been with Arizona. He was with Arizona, then to San Francisco for 4 years, and finally with Nationals. So the big guy from Venezuela will be on the mound, and not Steven Strasburg. We'll get to the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. A very pleasant Monday evening to you. Dodgers take the field and ready to go head-to-head with the now Washington Nationals. And by the way, to spur the Dodgers on, not only the fact they are not going to look at Steven Strasburg, instead Yusmeiro Petit, but how about this great baseball note? The San Francisco Giants go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's way behind the Chicago Cubs. The Giants not only have an 8-game winning streak, they have Madison Bumgarner pitching. He allows 1 run. It's a home run by a 36-year-old catcher by the name of Eric Kratz, who was hitting .045. He went 1 for 3 in the game and hit a home run. And the final score, Pittsburgh 1, San Francisco nothing. So it took a storybook finish for Bumgarner and the Giants to finally lose after winning 8 in a row. Meanwhile, Clayton Kershaw getting ready. 10 wins, 1 loss. 2-0 last year. He beat Washington here and there. And he is 9-2 lifetime against the Nats. He's a 7-game winning streak against Washington and an earned run average of 2. And here are the fellas he'll be fighting. First of all, leading off in center field, Michael Taylor. In left field, a former Dodger, Jason Worth. Then you'll have Bryce Harper in right field. The cleanup hitter is Daniel Murphy at second base. Ryan Zimmerman is at first. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Anthony Rendon at third. Danny Espinosa at short. And Yusmeiro Petit on the mound. So Kershaw about ready to take on Michael A. Taylor. He prefers the full name. And Michael is coming off a very good game as he checks in. So Kershaw about ready, and we're ready to go to work here. And Michael A. Taylor checks in. Right-hand batter, long and lean. Takes a look at the first pitch. It misses, and ball 1. 1-0. Taylor is from Fort Lauderdale. He was drafted out of high school by Washington. Takes a strike. 0-2. Taylor hit his major league debut home run 2 years ago to give Washington a 7-0 victory. 0-2. Bouncing a curveball. 1-2. Kershaw has won 13 in a row, going all the way back to September 2015. Fastball high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor. Taylor had a big game against San Diego. And he has hit safely in 17 straight. Foul ball. Still 2-2. I don't know. You come to the ballpark tonight, and it would be like going to the theater on Broadway, and just before the curtain comes up, the gentleman comes out, and Rex Harrison will not be performing tonight in My Fair Lady. John Brown will take over. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Check swing. It's high. Ball 3. 3-2. So Taylor, then Worth, and then Harper. Jason with the long hair and the beard changed a great deal from when he played here. And then, of course, Bryce Harper hitting third. Line drive and a nice catch by Utley. So Taylor lines out to the second baseman, 1 down. And here comes Jason Worth. The temperature right now at the start of the game, 96 degrees. So that will have some kind of a factor, I'm sure. Perhaps the stamina as far as Clayton Kershaw is concerned. So here is Jason Worth. Jason with the Dodgers 2004, 2005. And a strike. Crashed into a wall in Colorado and hurt his shoulder. That ruined 1 year. And the next year in spring training, He was hit on the hand, suffered a broken hand, and never played again for the Dodgers. Off speed, a changeup for a strike, and the count 0-2. You could see the knees buckle on that pitch. 0-2 to Jason Worth. Jason 6'5". He was a very good high school basketball player. Of course, his background is very interesting. His mom, Kim Schofield, competed in long jump, 100 meters Olympic trials. She was a world-class sprinter. His dad, Jeffrey Cowan, he was a star receiver at Illinois State. The next one misses. 2-2. Jason's grandfather, Dick Schofield, his uncle, Dick Schofield Jr., both had long careers in the big leagues as shortstop. And it goes on and on. His stepfather is a former Yankee and A's catcher. And down he goes with all that great lineage. What's coming up now is a big feature in the game. Bryce Harper against Clayton Kershaw. The one thing for Kershaw and for any pitcher is if you befall on the first pitch and get to 1 ball and no strikes. In his career, Bryce Harper is hitting .518 on the 1-0 count. So let's see how Clayton starts him. First pitch foul back, so it's 0-1. 2000 ago, Bryce Harper homered here against Kershaw back in September. Not only the first home run by a left-hand batter against Kershaw all year, but until the 2-run home run, left-hand batters had just 1 RBI all season against him. How many RBIs did left-hand batters have against Kershaw this year? 1, and no home runs. Of course, Harper's out of sync. You know what happened? They played a 4-game series with the Cubs, and he was walked 13 times. They were going to walk him the 14th time, and they hit him with a pitch. What made that very tough was not for Harper, but for Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman was hitting behind Harper that day and left 14 men on base. 0-2. Big overhand curve fouled away. Harper, no headliner right now, hitting .255, 14 home runs, 42 runs batted in. When he was about 12 years old, he was in a tournament, and he hit 12 home runs in the tournament. Called his mom, and she said, "How'd you do?" He said, "I did okay." Well, he just struck out following Worth to the dugout. So at the end of half an inning, no score. score. Washington, 3 batters, 2 strikes out. And we'll take a look now at the Dodger lineup. Chase Utley leading off. Corey Seager and Justin Turner. Adrian Gonzalez hits cleanup. Trace Thompson in right. Jock Peterson in center. Howie Kendrick in left. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Clayton Kershaw on the mound. On the mound, a last-minute substitution, admittedly a big one, and that would be Yasmero Petit. Petit, big right-hander from Maracaibo in Venezuela, stepping in for the Star. He has a record of 2-0. He is a veteran indeed. Signed by the Mets, then spent 4 years with the Giants. Chase Utley leading off with a .261 average. When he scores a run, it'll be a headline. 1,000 runs scored in his career. Strike. Washington loads up the right side. Petit is a big man, 6 feet, 250 pounds. So he always has to worry about his weight. He'll be 32 the end of November. He had one magnificent game, and we can tell you about that. 1-1 pitch in there. You have to go back to 2013. He was with the Giants. He came within inches of a perfect game. Hunter Pence diving but couldn't catch a line drive with 2 out and 2 strikes in the 9th inning. The ball was hit by Eric Chavez. So he lost a perfect game, wound up with a 1-hitter, and won the game. Meanwhile, Utley a fly ball to center, going back Taylor, and 1 away. So 1 out, first inning, and Corey Seager coming up. Seager, as a rookie, is having a very good start. In fact, he'd be having a very good start whether he was a veteran or not. Hitting .280, 21 multi-hit games with 15 home runs, 36 runs batted in. So Petit gets 1 away. Here's Seager with Turner on deck. Ball 1. I'm sure Corey was disappointed. If you're a rookie, you're thinking all day about you're going to look at Steven Strasburg. It's not that Petit is a letdown, but there was so much buildup in the Kershaw-Strasburg. It's a shame it didn't come about. 2-0. And that's ball 3. Waiting on deck, Justin Turner. Petit certainly had his moments, not only that 1-hitter. 2 years ago, he retired 46 consecutive hitters. Big chopper to the right side, one-handed by Daniel Murphy, and we have 2 out. No score, bottom of the first inning. Petit facing Justin Turner. Yasmani, no doubt, has a lot of knowledge of a lot of hitters. First with the Mets, then the Marlins, the D-backs, the Mariners, the Giants, and the Nationals. So a big, much-traveled pitcher. The man from Maracaibo facing Justin Turner. 1 ball and no strikes. Turner starting to show signs. Hitting .248 now, but for a week hitting over .460. 4 home runs, 9 runs batted in. And a high fly ball to deep center. Back goes Taylor to the track, at the wall, gone. Justin Turner continues his phenomenal hitting. Turner now has 10 home runs, 31 runs batted in, and he gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead and a chance to pick up a game on the Giants if they can hold the lead. Remember, we told you earlier the Giants lost with Bumgarner 1-0. So here now is Adrian Gonzalez. 1 ball and no strikes. Adrian Gonzalez was hitting .444 against Strasburg. I don't say he's disappointed about not seeing him. We'll see what he does against Petit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez hitting .333, 5 hits and a double. He lifts one into left center. And it will be the center fielder Taylor. So down go the Dodgers, but not before Justin Turner makes an impact. Got a fastball about belt high over the middle of the plate and hits it over the center field wall. His cheerleader Jock Peterson, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. Run by Justin Turner. Second inning, Daniel Murphy leading off. And fouls it away. 0-1. Murphy last year for the New York Mets homered in a record 6 consecutive playoff games, including, are you ready, 2 against Kershaw. The Dodgers have a second baseman who knows about those thrills. Daniel hitting .358, a bounce curveball. 1-1. Chase Utley out there at second base in the 2009 World Series. He tied Reggie Jackson's World Series record. He had 5 home runs in a single World Series. So 2 second basemen who know the high spots of playing the game. 1-2 to count to Murphy. Daniel, of course, at that great moment, and many of them, with the New York Mets. He was the 2005 National League Championship Series MVP, and last year he was the truckless guy. It was really impossible to strike him out. He lifts one down the left field line, slicing foul, out of play. Murphy struck out 7% of the time last year. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. And Murphy swings late on a curve, grounds it to Gonzalez. Throw to first in time, and that gets Murphy. One away, second inning, and Ryan Zimmerman coming up. Zimmerman visiting for a moment with Yasmani Grandal. Ryan, a big fella, 6'3", 230 from Virginia Beach, Virginia. It was a first-round pick by the Nationals out of the University of Virginia. Ryan waiting, and here comes Kershaw. 0-1 on the foul ball. Ryan Zimmerman hitting .368 against Kershaw. 19 at bats, 7 hits, including a double. 0-1. Good fastball, 0-2. Dodgers lead, home run by Justin Turner in the first inning. Kershaw made 17 pitches in the first inning. Petit came back with 13, and that reminded us of something. There's a hopper to Gonzalez. He'll do it himself. Kershaw normally makes less pitches per inning, 13, than any other starter in the big leagues. Well, right now he's made 25, 17 in the first inning, but only 8 here in the second.
Pitcher number 40, Wilson Ramos.
Wilson Ramos coming up, big catcher. He had LASIK surgery last spring, and that really helped his eyes. So all of a sudden, he's catching better, and he is hitting very well. .335, 11 home runs. Strike, and the count 0-1. So Wilson Abraham Ramos from Valencia in Venezuela. So we have an all Venezuelan battery with Yasmiro Petit. 1-1. Ramos an even 6. Checks in at 220, trying to figure out Clayton Kershaw. Ramos is 1 for 9 in the pass. 1-2. Kershaw has retired 5 in a row. A 1-2 count on Ramos, with Anthony Rendon waiting on deck. Time. You know, Kershaw has allowed only 20 runs all year. Would you believe half of them, 10, come in 1 inning? That's the 6th fouled away. So we'll kind of star the 6th inning to remind us to see what happens when Clayton takes the hill. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wilson Ramos. Ramos very smart. No wonder he's a catcher. Tell you why in a moment. When he was a little kid, he found a horse wandering the streets in Venezuela. So what did he do? He collected money from neighborhood children asking for rides. He also caught tropical birds, baited with honey, and sold them to a local pet store. So Ramos with a good head on his shoulders and a fine player. One of 6 children, 4 brothers and a sister, and 2 of his younger brothers are catchers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. Check swing, no swing. 3-2. Ramos 5 years ago, I'm sure he doesn't like to talk about it, but he was kidnapped. 4 men entered his home, took him away in an SUV. That's the risk a lot of these players have. They go home. Everybody around knows they're worth a lot of money, and bingo, trouble. Fastball, a comebacker, and dropped by Kershaw. Plenty of time, however, to throw out Ramos, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. So Clayton has retired 6 in a row, and at the end of an inning and a half, 1-0 Dodgers. The home run by Justin Turner. Dusty Baker, I have a question for you. Looking at him, you'll have the answer. Who do you think was in the on-deck circle when Henry Aaron hit his home run? You're looking at him. Trace Thompson will start it off, then Peterson, and then all of a sudden Kendrick. 0-1. Thompson hitting .259, but in the last 16 home games, one reason the Dodgers are playing well at home, hitting .327. Good changeup. 0-2. Dodgers have won 5 of the last 6, 11 of the last 14 at home. Now they are 20-15 at home. Break even on the road. One game above 500 against the Eastern Division. 1-2. Yosmero Petit stepping in for Steven Strasburg. Fastball got him. 1 away. You know, when you think about it, you look at Dusty Baker and you say, oh, gee, he was a Dodger from 1976 through 83. But you know what? There are 7 current managers who played for the Dodgers. Brad Ausmuth, Detroit. Dusty with Washington. Craig Counsell just left. Chip Hale, Dave Roberts, Mike Scioscia, and Robin Ventura. So the Dodgers a great springboard for some great fellas. 1 away. Jock Peterson at the plate, Howie Kendrick on deck, and that's a strike. If you like to keep track of those things, Kershaw has made 33 pitches, 17 in the first inning, 16 in the second. Check swing. No swing. By the way, I owe you an apology, and I should really be honest with you as to why I'm here. I mean, it's not important, except maybe I'm aggravating you a little bit, and I apologize. I really knew I had a sore throat but I wanted to see Strasburg and Kershaw so badly that I decided I'm going to go, and somehow I'll croak my way through the game. It'll be so exciting. I'm going to see two of the great pitchers going head to head. And about 45 minutes before the start of the game, Strasburg let me down. Change foul back. So anyway, I'm sorry. We'll do the best we can. 1-0 Dodgers, home run by Justin Turner in the first inning. I don't know, maybe I thought all of a sudden I'll feel 100% when Strasburg and Kershaw. Something magical will happen. Dummy. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three and two. Justin Turner homered with 2 out, bases empty in the first inning, and here we are. Petit basically fastball, slider, some kind of a change which almost looks like a slider, and he certainly fools Jock Peterson. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down, and the hitter is Howie Kendrick.
Number 47, Howie Kendrick.
Like so many pitchers today, when Howie Kendrick reads up on Petit, he knows that he now is throwing a slider. Ball 1. Takes a while to learn. A tight late break. You could say it's kind of a slurvy curveball, but he does throw a curve as well. Fastball grounded to short. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of 2, 1-0 Dodgers.
Third inning. Third baseman number 6, Anthony Rendon.
Friends, the Dodgers and Nationals playing Wednesday, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Dusty Baker bobblehead presented by Security Benefit. If you want tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Dusty Baker, what tension was on him that last game of the year, trying to join Garvey and Say and Reggie Smith in hitting 30 home runs, and he hung in and did it. Meanwhile, Anthony Rendon fouls it away. 0-1 the count. Rendon is hitting .308 against Kershaw. That translates 4 for 13. Anthony out of Richmond, Texas, lives in Houston, and he was selected by the Nationals out of Rice University. They always talk about Rendon. It sounds like he's a kid from, one of the countries like the Dominican. He was throwing rocks and hitting pine cones when he was a stick when he was about 3 years old. And the talent kept increasing. By the time he was 5, he was playing organized ball, and he is a solid fixture with the Nationals. 2-2. Anthony was the College Player of the Year as an underclassman. In the over 30-year history of the award, underclassmen have only won the award 3 times. And who were they? Robin Ventura, John Olerud, and then finally Mark Teixeira. So Rendon in very good company. Anthony, an even 6, 200-pounder, 26 years old. Clayton Kershaw now has made 38 pitches. He hasn't gotten down to his average of 13 yet. 2-2. That stayed up. 3-2. When you look at Kershaw during the year and you realize how many swings and misses you see, you wonder where he is in the rankings of swings on his pitches. Like that. Well, against Clayton, it's almost 34% of the time. Jose Fernandez, it's 35% of the time. Noah Syndergaard, 33, and Max Scherzer, 31. So 1 away, 3rd strikeout for Clayton Kershaw. Danny Espinosa, the shortstop, checking in. 11 hit by pitches. That's something when you're the number 8 hitter. And a strike. Espinosa is a switch hitter, so it's interesting. He's been hit 9 of the 11 times, batting left-handed. 93, 0-2. One nothing Dodgers. Home run by Justin Turner in the first inning. Off speed, down he goes. 4 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. He has retired 8 in a row. And here's Petit. Another thing we missed tonight with Strasburg not playing is the fact he can swing the bat. Strasburg won a silver bat for his best hitting as a pitcher. That's a strike. 1-1. And a shot up the middle and into center field, and a round of applause in the Washington dugout. So Koufax had retired, Kershaw had retired 8 in a row, and it's Petit, the pitcher, who singles up the middle. Big high bouncer. Utley tried to backhand it, couldn't do it. So a base hit for Petit, somewhat of a surprise. And with 2 down, here's Michael Taylor. Taylor popped up in the first inning. Actually hit the ball reasonably hard at Chase Utley. hitting .241. And a strike. Most of the scouts feel Taylor will be the kind of a guy who might hit as many as 20 home runs to 25. He's big enough, 6'4", 205-pounder, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He did hit 14 home runs for the Nationals last year. When he hit his first major league home run, he was thrilled to know the game was on television, and my mom was watching the game in Fort Lauderdale. Fastball grounded to Seager, quick way to Utley, and that'll do it. No runs, 1 hit by Yasmero Petit, the pitcher. A man left, 2.5 innings, 1-0 Dodgers. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. And by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. 2 former Dodgers wearing the livery of the Washington Senators in those days. Gil Hodges, the manager, and his loyal right-hand man, Rube Walker. That was when Gil managed from 1963 through 67. Then he moved to New York and managed the New York Mets to a World's Championship in '69. Squirt foul. Yasmani Grandal had all the thrill of a walk-off walk yesterday. Grandal, 5 home runs, 23 runs batted in, hitting just 184. 183 left, 190 right. Power on the left side. Dodgers lead 1-0, home run in the first inning by Justin Turner. 2-1. Two and two. Turner came up with 2 out in the first inning, hit a home run with 2 out in the third inning looking for a hit. And it was Petit, the pitcher, who singled against Kershaw. And foul tip, so Grandal is still there. The Washington Nationals. When they were known as the Washington Senators, the battle cry in the American League was first in war, first in peace, and last in the American League. Fouled away. Played their games in Griffith Stadium for many, many years. They have their big star, Worth, Harper et al. One of the more famous home runs hit at Griffith Stadium. It was in the early days of tape measure home runs. And Mickey Mantle hit a home run against Chuck Stobbs of the Washington Senators. And the tape measure of the home run said 565. Timeout for a moment to see what's going on. The catcher on that foul ball, he's going to get it right there off the left forearm. So he tried to walk it off by going out and talking to Yasmani Petit. He might as well have stayed at the plate and talked to Yasmani, the other one, Yasmani Grandal. Boy, the beating they take. All right, 2-2. Fastball hit down the left field line, slicing in the corner and goes foul. Foul ball. Boy, that was cutting it close. Jason Worth going over, ran out of real estate, and the fans have something to say to him. Take another look. As he goes into a slide, hoping to catch it, the ball goes in amongst the customers. Jason, of course, suffered a bad injury crashing into the wall in Colorado. And now let's see. Are they going to review the foul ball? The 3 of the 4 umpires getting together. Doug Eddings down the right field line is going to be the last one to join. Meanwhile, Bob Guerin on the phone to see if it's worth a review.
The field is under review.
Well, we're going to review a tight squeeze in the corner. Talked about it before. One of the more memorable home runs, or not, a Cincinnati Giants game in the Polo Grounds. A ball that went right down and landed in the upper deck amongst cab drivers. They were in foul ground. It was ruled a home run. At the time, the Giants were in third place, but making a move on first place. The ruling went against the Giants. Even though the cab drivers waved that it was foul, it was ruled a home run. Dick Bartell, the Giant shortstop, was accused of spitting in the umpire's face. He got suspended for about 2 weeks, and the Giants took a nosedive in the standings. Another one of those close fly balls right down the line. And the umpires again doing their usual great job. All right, 2-2 to Grandal. Off speed, got him. The Grandal is caught looking. Third strikeout for Yasmani Petit.
22, Clayton Kershaw.
And Clayton Kershaw coming up. We're in the bottom of the third. 1 out, bases empty, and the Dodgers lead 1-0 on a home run by Justin Turner. A reminder, even with Madison Bumgarner, the gods frowned upon the Giants today. The Giants, with an 8-game winning streak, lost 1-0 to Pittsburgh on a home run by a 36-year-old backup catcher named Eric Kratz. He was hitting .045 when he hit the home run against Madison Bumgarner. I guess that's what really makes the game so great. No way to figure it out. Yeah, Strasburg shirts, I'm sure, coupled up with Kershaw shirts, but not tonight. 2-1 to Clayton. Kershaw has 7 hits, 2 runs batted in. Strikes out about a third of the time. A shot to the hole, speared by Daniel Murphy for the second out. Murph thought that was the third out. He was heading for the dugout, and he got to win 5 or 10 feet. And he's now embarrassed and goes back, holds up 2 fingers to keep everybody in the game. Way to go, Dan. And their shirts are saying, yeah, you got it right. 2 out, Daniel. Nice guy. You'd love him. And a terrific player. All right, Chase Utley, who flied to center, 0 for 1. We're in the third. 1-0 Dodgers home run by Justin Turner. Strike. 0-1. Petit making a rare start only because Strasburg could not answer the bell. 0-1. Just away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chase still trying to score the 1,000th run of his career. Tries to bunt his way aboard. 1-2. Of course, when you look at the infield, all 3 on the right, 1 solitary man at short, Anthony Rendon. You figure if I can just get a pitch to get it down, there's no way Rendon can come back to make the play. 1-2 to Chase. Doubtful he tried with 2 strikes. 2-2. Two down in the third. 1-0 Dodgers. Trying to cut the Giant lead to 5.5. Ball 3. When he takes something off, and if you're the hitter, and as big as he is coming down off the mound, 6 feet, 250 pounds, you got to expect all of that behind it that is going to be a fastball. But he came up with that 80-mile-an-hour change. 3-2. Oh, a slider down and in, and a dandy pitch to strike out Utley. 4 strikeouts for Yusmeiro Petit as the sun sets in the west. Dodgers lead 1-0. Nothing lead furnished by Justin Turner's first inning home run. And in the fourth, Jason Worth, Bryce Harper, and then Daniel Murphy. Jason Worth struck out in the first inning, so did Bryce Harper. And here comes Kershaw. First pitch fouled away, 0-1 the count. Earlier in the game, we were talking about Dusty Baker being in the on-deck circle when Henry Aaron hit the home run. And as Dusty said, I could have been the first man up to the plate, but typical Dusty, he said it was Henry's moment. I didn't want to go near it. That's a strike. Where were they that afternoon before Aaron hit that historic home run? Well, some friends of Henry had a barbecue in the backyard. And among those invited, Dusty Baker and Jerry Royster, another Dodger. Of course, there was a good reason for Dusty to be invited to the barbecue. Ground ball into right field for Jason Worth. When Dusty Baker signed his first contract with the Atlanta Braves, his mother called Henry Aaron and said, please look after my boy. And Henry said, Mom, don't worry, I will take care of him like a son. And they were that close. Johnny Lee Baker, the pride of Riverside, comes back to Dodger Stadium. So Worth with a base hit the other way, and here's Brian Harper. Bryce, we told you about that 13 walk game and hit by a pitch. And a strike. A year, 2 years ago, you may remember Bryce Harper crashing into the scoreboard in right field, suffering a severe cut, so much so they had to take the beard off. Yeah, he went face first into that grill. 0-1. One ball, one strike. When I saw him the next day and they had shaved the beard, I thought, hey, you look much better. But once it healed, here comes the beard. Although with him, it just looks like he hadn't shaved in a few days. 1-1 to Bryce. Two and one. Bryce Harper, in a sense, is kind of a genius. He's a genius with a bat in his hands. He played baseball from, oh my goodness, at a very tender age, and averaged anywhere from 80 to 130 baseball games a year as a kid. 2-2. Harper, before he was 22, had hit 53 home runs. Andrew Jones, Mike Trout just a little ahead of him. Of course, the under 22 home run hitter in the National League was Mel Ott. 2-2. Jason Worth, who runs reasonably well, he's a big man. He has one stolen base. Two and two to Harper. Daniel Murphy waiting on deck. And down goes Harper. So that's one of those great wars inside the battle as Harper strikes out against Clayton Kershaw. And for Harper, he is now 0-for-2, striking out both times. See where his batting average is. He was hitting .083. So if you're a player of the ability of Harper, and you're not only 0-for-2, but hitting less than .080, tribute to the pitcher. And here now is Daniel Murphy, who grounded out in the second inning, and of course razzed by his teammates. He thought it was the third out when Utley struck out. So Daniel up there and waiting. Fouled away, 0-1. Murphy, who came to Washington from the New York Mets. We had a chance to visit before the game. I said, how do you like Washington? Oh, he said, I like it very much. We now have a yard. When he was playing in New York, he was in an apartment, I think. But now in Washington, very happily ensconced. He's from Jacksonville, went to the school of Jacksonville, the university. Talking about swinging hard, and big league players certainly can do that. Check swing. Daniel Murphy, during the division series, swung and hit a ball, and it was hit so hard his name was branded into the baseball from the bat. How about that? And you know, today they have another fluky thing called exit velocity, right? When he swung and hit the baseball and branded it with the name on his bat, the ball was leaving the bat at 105 miles an hour. When Goldschmidt hit Maeda on the knee in Arizona, that exit velocity was 95 miles an hour. So he didn't brand Maeda, but Murphy did. 1-2 the count to Daniel. The merry month of May for Daniel Murphy. He had 47 hits, including 7 home runs. He had only done anything like that once before, and it was October when he helped the Mets complete their run on the World Series. 1-2. Jammed him. Fly ball. Hendricks started back. Now comes over to make the catch. So 2 down. And Ryan Zimmerman coming up.
Number 11, Ryan Zimmerman.
1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for Washington. Ryan Wallace Zimmerman by name. Interestingly enough, he was born in Washington, D.C. He grew up in the Sandbridge area. In fact, his house that he lived in was on stilts, not far from the ocean, and they called the house Sand Bucket. It was a combination of Virginia Beach, the sand, and Nantucket, where his mom's family used to gather. Ryan, 6'3", 220, has been with the Washington Nationals since 2005. His biggest years, well, 2009 he had 33 home runs and 106 runs batted in. And in 2012 and 13 he had 25 and 26 home runs. 1-0 Dodgers, 4th inning, 2 out. Worth at first. Big overhand curveball for a strike. That's that big changeup. Ryan said the best bit of advice he ever got, quote, work harder when nobody is looking. Pretty good. 1-2. Fastball. 2-2. If you check the Ryan Zimmerman Household magazine and look for his marriage to Heather, interesting places. That's a fly ball into right center. Here comes Thompson to pick it off. When Zimmerman was married, Well, first, when they were engaged, they got engaged at the Lincoln Memorial. They were married in the Andrew Mellon Auditorium. And the honeymoon, Cape Town, South Africa, and Mozambique. Wow. And at the end of 3.5, thanks to Justin Turner's first inning swing, the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Corey Seager leads off, fouls it away, and the count 0-1. Well, how about this one? An unusual Major League record set tonight in the Rockies Marlins game. All 8 runs in a 5-3 Colorado victory came on solo home runs. And you're saying, yeah, sure, well, Colorado, anything can happen. No, it took place in Miami. Fly ball down the left field line. Worth can't come up with it, and it bounces into the stand. We'd have to look at that again on tape. I don't know if Jason lost the ball or what, but he had a play. So we'll try and back. He's looking for the tape himself. So you see Seager hit the slicing fly ball. Here goes Worth, and he figures to catch that, but he didn't come close. And then he kind of stands as if confused as how he could have missed it by that much. So maybe he lost it in the lights. He did have a long way to go, considering it was a left-handed batter. So Seager with his 15th double, doubles to left. And here's Justin Turner, who homered for the only Dodger hit and run in the first 3 innings. Foul ball, 0-1. 8 runs, all on solo home runs, hit by Colorado in Miami. 1 for the books. Talking about 1 for the books, you know what you're liable to see, although maybe it's a little hazy. The Strawberry Moon. 0-1 the count. Slice foul. This is the longest day of the year. The summer solstice peaks at 6:34. It's now about 8:19. So when a full moon coincides with the summer solstice, it's called a strawberry moon, named for when the Algonquin Indian tribes used the solstice as a signal for when fruits were ready for picking. That's according to the Farmer's Almanac, that says it's the first summer solstice and the moon in 70 years. 0-2. Ground ball the other way. So Turner tried to keep going that way and succeeded. Throw to the plate is not in time. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. So Turner is a magician. Home run to left and a single to right after going that way twice. So the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up. So Petit has allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, and Adrian Gonzalez on an inning with the leadoff double by Seaver. Strike. So Turner homered in the first. Seager doubled to left. Turner single to right. So that's a pretty good back-to-back bit of hitting going the other way. Adrian might try to go the other way as well. He takes off the plate. Right side of the infield loaded up. Petit, who certainly did not expect to start, finds himself in the 4th inning. 50 pitches. Last minute replacement for Steven Strasburg. 1-1. Pulled on the ground, backhanded by Murphy. They get 1. They throw to first. Double play. So Adrian pulling instead of perhaps trying to go the other way like Seager and Turner, and pays a price. Nice play by Murphy to get the DP started.
Number 21, Trace Thompson.
Two down. Trace Thompson will be coming up. Dodgers got a run in the first. Home run by Turner. They get another on Turner's base hit. Close play at first, but it doesn't look like the Dodgers will demand a review. We'll wait and see. And they are not. So Trace Thompson struck out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Two runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits for Washington. Ball 1. Thompson was the first strikeout for Petit. He has 4. Good changeup. Wow. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Clayton Kershaw staked to a 2-0 lead. So far he's allowed 2 hits and no runs. Foul back, 1-2. Trace had to be very disappointed yesterday. Certainly not over the fact the Dodgers won that tough game on the bases loaded war. But he then scurried to get home to watch the NBA game on television and saw his brother being terribly disappointed. 2-2. 2 down in the 4th. 2-0 Dodgers. Dodgers have won 3 straight, 5 of the last 6, 11 of the last 14. Giants had their 8-game winning streak snapped. Pittsburgh beat Bumgarner 1-0 on a home run by the 36-year-old backup catcher. High fly ball, that's all it is. Jason Worth looking up into somewhat of a purple sky with the fires nearby. It's not quite the sky we're accustomed to. 1 run, 2 hits, nobody left, and the 4, 2-0 Dodgers. Inning 2-0 in favor of the Dodgers, with Ramos, Rendon, and Espinosa in that order. Wilson Ramos hit back to the box in the second inning, hitting .333. In for a strike, 0-1. Ramos, as we mentioned earlier, had LASIK surgery during spring training, and it has really helped him in hitting and catching, digging balls out of the dirt, etc. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two nothing Dodgers. Kershaw has allowed 2 hits. 1 and 2. Ramos, not only a good hitter and a fine catcher, he actually caught 2 no-hitters. That's nice to have on your baseball resume. He did it with Jordan Zimmerman, did it again with Max Scherzer. Max pitched in San Diego. Would have been great to have him back up, see him in this series, but we have lost both Max Scherzer because of a previous engagement. Steven Strasburg couldn't answer the bell. 2-2. Down he goes. That would be 6 strikeouts for Clayton. That slider is doing the dirty. By the way, yesterday was Father's Day, and at 11:35 a.m. Pacific time, heartiest congratulations to Charlotte Grace Davis, bless her heart, born on Father's Day to Joe and Libby Davis. So Dodger announcer Joe Davis starts his career with a bouncing baby girl. Love to both Joe and Libby. And a strike to Rendon. Boy, that's not a bad day on which to be born, huh? Father's Day? Like you, Princess, with your big bow. Aren't you something? 0-2 meanwhile to Rendon. Kershaw has struck out 6. He's so amazing. No walks. So if you add his numbers together, he has now struck out 139 and he's walked 7. Fastball away. One of the interesting things that Kershaw has not been doing is starting a hitter with a curveball. That's a high fly ball, very playable. Easy play for Trace Thompson. And we have 2 down. They watch everyone's performance so closely now.
Number 8, Danny Espinosa.
Says Kershaw has not thrown any curveballs for the first pitch in the past 30 days, 5 starts. Now let's see how he starts Danny Espinosa, who struck out in the 3rd inning. Fastball and a towering pop fly. Turner. So down go the Nats. That's 6 in a row. Hello, beautiful. Yes, you are all. What do we got here? Where's the food? Something. Give me something to put in my mouth. All right, Mom. I'll take a bow. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota's Summer Drive Sales event is going on now, where you can save big on the all-new Prius. And by Carl's Jr., the California Classic Double Cheeseburger for just $2.49 at Carl's Jr. 2-0 favor of the Dodgers. The big famous quartet. Each man hit 30 or more home runs. Back in 1977, it was Baker and Garvey, Smith and Say. Steve had the most, 33. Reggie Smith, 32. Say and Dusty Baker, 30. And by the way, that 1977 year, Dusty Baker was the MVP in the 1977 League Championship Series against the Phillies. And among other things, Dusty hit a grand slam in that series. And talking about a home run, a towering drive down the line, gone. Jack Peterson really unloads his 13th home run, 32 runs batted in, and the Dodgers are on the board leading 3-0. Fastball right out over the middle. Same pitch made to Justin Turner. Boy, that thing was a skyscraper to the back of the grandstand alongside the bullpen. Jack Peterson with tremendous home runs. He has 5 in his last 9 games. 3-0 Dodgers in the 5th. Giants lost today, 1-0 to Pittsburgh. They lost with Madison Bumgarner pitching. 0-2 the count to Howie Kendrick. Howie grounded to short in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Off speed, high foul, and it goes back in the stands. Dodgers scoring in the 1st inning, 4th inning, 5th inning. Off speed again, 0-2. It's such a good move that Petit has, and he is so big, it's hard to see the hitters who are late on the changeup. It just kind of speeds up on him. 0-2. Still 0-2. For Washington, Petit had the first hit against Kershaw in the 3rd inning. Worth singled in the 4th. So he's allowed 2 hits, struck out 6, no walks, and Clayton now leading 3-0. Trying to go 11-1 and beat Washington for the 8th straight time. Bounce that, 1-2. Should Kershaw win, he will be 10-2 lifetime against Washington, and he will have beaten them 8 in a row. One and two. Fastball pulled to the left of short. On it is Espinosa. 1 away. Say, friends, celebrate the 1981 Dodger World Series tri-MVP. That will be Saturday, July 2nd. Dodgers and the Rockies. And the first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a 1981 tri-MVP bobblehead presented by Security Benefit. For tickets, be sure to visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Guerrero and Yeager and Say. So here's Grandal, struck out in the 3rd inning. Strike. Dodgers trying to win their 4th in a row. Strike 0-2. Tomorrow night, Tanner Roark, he's a right-hander, go up against left-hander Scott Kazmir. And then right-hander Joe Ross will go up against Julio Urias. Joe Ross, the younger brother of Tyler Ross in San Diego. And there are 2 men speaking some language, maybe. Urias, the young Mexican from Culiacan, and Maeda from Japan. Some way you can figure it out. Pantomime will get the job done. 0-2. Off speed, grounded to first, and that'll be the 2nd out. Zimmerman takes it to the bag. And Clayton Kershaw coming up.
Number 22, Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw grounded out in the 3rd inning. Clayton is 0 for 1. As we salute Dusty Baker, welcome him back. We were talking about the tri-MVP, Guerrero, Yeager, and Say. Dusty was on that ball club, beating the Yankees back in 1981. 1 ball and no strikes. Two down, 5th inning. Dodgers lead 3-0. In there for a strike. Ground ball to the right, picked up nicely by Murphy. That'll be that. 1 run, 1 hit, and I mean 1 swing of the bat by Jock Peterson. And we have 5 in the books, 3-0 Dodgers. '65, Sandy Koufax turned in the Dodgers' 3rd one-hitter in less than a month. He struck out 12, held the Mets to 1 hit, and beat them 2-1. Just before that, Don Drysdale pitched a one-hitter against the Cardinals, beating them 2-0. And Claude Osteen pitched a one-hitter against the Giants, beating them 3-0. But with that kind of a staff, not too much of a surprise. That was a World's Championship ball club. Let's go back to this one. Yasmero Petit, as we look at familiar number 32, and there it is. Remember the strawberry moon? Okay, pick the fruit. It's ripe. 3-0 Dodgers, 6th inning. Petit singled up the middle. Koufax starting that with inside of a month. Can you imagine? 3 one-hitters. On the corner, strike 2. Petit has made 72 pitches. He has surrendered 3 runs. Ground ball right to Adrian Gonzalez. 1 out in the 5th.
Center fielder Michael Taylor.
So Kershaw started off the night retiring 8 in a row. He gave up 2 singles, one to Petit in the 3rd, another to Worth in the 4th, and since Worth, he's retired 7 in a row. Michael A. Taylor, 0 for 2. Watch this pitch for just a moment. Probably banged down the left field line into the corner. Taylor hits the bag, keeps on going. Kendrick's throw is going to be late, and it's a stand-up double for Taylor. We were commenting earlier that Kershaw does not start a hitter with a curveball. So sure enough, he started in fastball, and it's a line drive double. Like that. For the Nationals, that's as far as they've gotten tonight. They finally have somebody at second base. Jason Worth struck out and singled. Kershaw, by the way, has gotten strike 1 on the first pitch to 16 of the 17 batters. So he got that fastball to Taylor, and he blistered it for the double. The only one to get a ball was Petit, who then singled on a 1-0 count. They've been swinging at the first pitch, but not in the dirt. Ball 1. Swinging on the first pitch, the Nationals have swung 7 times. They've managed a pop-up and 6 foul balls. So 1-0 the count to Jason Worth. Kershaw's pitch count at 81. It has cooled down. I'm sure everybody's grateful for that. It was 96 when the game started. 1-1 to Jason. Jason Richard Worth out of Springfield, Illinois. He was originally a first-round pick by Baltimore. Foul back. Jason is a big fella. He's 6'5", 220-pounder. Played with the Dodgers in 04 and 05. Was on the DL. They told you had a broken hand. And eventually came up to Philadelphia. And he had that great year in 09. 36 home runs, 99 runs batted in. So he can play. Pickoff play, low throw. Nice save by Utley. That could easily have gone into center field. So Taylor at second, nobody out. Dodgers lead 3-0, and Utley makes a save. Jason Worth at the plate He's been playing professionally since 1997. Finally came up 6 years later with the Blue Jays. 1-2. 2-2. Two and two to Jason Worth. Back in '08, Jason Worth certainly had the game of his career. He was playing with the Phillies. He had 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Two and two to Jason. For about the first 6 years of his professional life, Jason Worth was a catcher. 2-2. And chases a bad ball. Thought it had fouled in the dirt. Down he goes. So Worth strikes out. Curveball in the dirt. Short hop by Grandal. And now Bryce Harper. One of the things they always point up about Bryce Harper and his character, and we mentioned earlier, when he was 12 years old, he was on a travel team. They played a big series in a ballpark where the fences, and they're all little kids, fences were 250 feet away. And he hit 12 home runs. And he called home and his mom said, "How'd you do?" And he said, "I did okay." He never mentioned the fact that he had hit all those home runs. Struggling, and especially now against Kershaw. Bryce, as some of the Nationals tell us, has not been the same since he was walked 13 times in the 4-game series with the Cubs. 13 walks. They wanted to walk him a 14th time, and he was hit by the pitch. So Bryce, Aaron, Max, Harper. That's a record, by the way. 13 walks. 1-1. 1-2. In fact, Harper said after the game he thought if he did not chase a few bad pitches against John Lackey, he would have walked even more. One and two. 2 out. Runner at second. 3-0 Dodgers in the 6th. And so Harper strikes out a 3rd time. Kershaw now has 7 strikeouts. Take another look at that. And at the end of 5 1/2, 3-0 Dodgers. Dodgers leading 3-0. It'll be Utley, Seager, and Turner in that order. Petit has done a reasonably good job. Last minute insertion and a little roller. There's Zimmerman on the ball to make the play. 1 away. So with 1 out, here's Seager. Clayton Kershaw has struck out 8 so far tonight. 1 on a curveball, 1 on a fastball, and a half a dozen on the slider. And I think maybe Clayton would agree. He has reached the air of prominence with the development of the slider. Trying to win his 11th with 1 loss. In for a strike. You have to go back a while. 1985. San Diego had a right-hander, Andy Hawkins, and he was 11-0. Strasburg might have had a shot at that, but he couldn't play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Seager pulled one and grounded to second, went the other way, doubled the left, and came in to score on another nice bit of hitting when Turner went to right field for a base hit. 2-1. Petit has made 77 pitches. Kershaw in his 6 innings has made 90. And a drive to the gap, but it is slicing and it's going to go to the wall. One-handed by Jason Worth to fire it in too late. So Seager comes up with his 22nd multi-hit game and 2 doubles. 1 down the left field line, 1 to the gap in left center.
Third baseman Justin Turner.
Worth never had a chance. Barehanded it coming off and fired it in, but too late. So here is Turner. Turner hit a home run to left field in the 1st inning, but in the 4th inning he fouled a couple of pitches off down the right field line and then singled to right field to drive in Seager. We'll see now if he tries to go the other way again. Strike. 1 difference, when he was going to right field, that was a leadoff double by Seager. There was nobody out. Here, there's 1 out and Seager at second. Turner now with 10 home runs. One and one. It was interesting before the game. Daniel Murphy singled out Turner, saying, I hope he doesn't continue his hot hitting. We said, well, he's really been blazing hot. He lifts that left leg, has his timing down, and boom. Turner, home run and single tonight to drive in 2. 1-2 the count to Justin. It's amazing how things can turn around. In the last 7-game hitting streak that he has, bumped up to 8 tonight, he has 5 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Turner Ward, the hitting coach, has to be very happy about the results. 1-2. Off speed, fly ball to right, deep enough. Harper has to go back, tagging up his Seager. Harper's going to let it fly. Oh, it's off to the left. He reached the area from almost the warning track in right field. And he really wanted to make a good throw, but it was just offline. Winds up, let her rip. That far from the bag. So Turner a fly ball deep to right. Seager advances to third, and the batter Adrian Gonzalez. Anthony Rendon is over at third talking to Seager. So for a moment there isn't anybody on the left side. And now Rendon signals, okay, I've finished my conversation. 3 on the right, Rendon all alone on the left. Ball 1. We always check when there's a runner at third. And in checking for Petit, no wild pitches, no balks. Dodgers trying to add another. They lead 3-0. That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll repeat. The Pirates upset Madison Bumgarner and the Giants 1-0 on a home run by a 36-year-old backup catcher named Eric Katz. The Cats meow. Line foul. That was dangerous. Up here, it looked like it went right over Seager's head. He's wearing a helmet, but that wouldn't have helped him much. Chris Woodward over to talk to him. Take a look from here. Well, it was over his head. Most awful hit runner. Frank Howard hit a line drive in Cincinnati that hit Duke Snider coming down the line from third in the head. I don't know how Snider survived, but he did. You don't think about it, but coming down the line from third. Yeah, there's the Duke's number. 2-2. Ball 3. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Nationals. They have Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman, and Wilson Ramos coming up in the 7th inning. And a highly enthusiastic Monday night crowd. 3-2. And ball 4. So Trace Thompson coming up. First and third, 2 out. For Petit, one thing he's done very well, that's his first walk. Left-hander Oliver Perez and Mike Maddox, who at one time pitched for the Dodgers. Mike was here back in 1999. Greg's brother, acknowledged as a excellent pitching coach. As a pitcher with the Dodgers, Mike was 1-1. So there's Oliver Perez. Dodgers scored in the first inning. Turner a home run. In the 4th, Seager doubled. Turner singled to right to drive him in. Here in the 6th, Seager has doubled. Takes third on a long fly ball by Turner. All right, Trace Thompson ready, struck out, flied to left. Trace hitting .256. 11 home runs, 27 runs batted in. I don't know Klay Thompson, but if he's as nice a man as Trace Thompson, Michael Thompson, their dad, has to be thrilled. Fouled away. 0-1 the count. On deck, Jock Peterson, who has struck out and homered. Jock just tuning up. 2 out. 0-2 to Trace. Thompson 11 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Clayton Kershaw a little restless, I guess, on a night that has become a little cool after it was a 96-degree start at 7 o'clock. There goes the runner, and the pitch so outside there's no play. So Adrian Gonzalez steals second base. For Gonzalez, his first stolen base. Now the official score says no, that is not a stolen base. It's indifferent in defensive indifference. It's only 3-0, so I don't know how you can be indifferent, but that's the way they play it these days. Meanwhile, Thompson up there, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adrian at second. Corey Seager down the line from third. Yusmeiro Petit trying to work his way out of a jam here in the 6th. 1-2. Down and away. Oliver Perez has been throwing in the pen, so with Jock Peterson on deck, you would assume this is a do or die moment for Petit. If he gets Thompson, he's out of the inning and he stays in the game. If he loses Thompson, I would assume Peterson would then see Oliver Perez. 2-2. Got him. The big slow curveball. Thompson chases, down he goes. Dodgers leave 2. And at the end of 6, 3-0 Dodgers. Another interesting, almost amazing game. 8 more strikeouts and no walks. So games with 10 strikeouts and no walks. Clayton has 6, joining Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling. 2 to go, and Daniel Murphy at the plate. Ground ball, base hit into left field. So Murphy came into the game with big numbers, hitting .358. 12 home runs, 46 runs batted in, and he just takes Kershaw the other way. Ryan Zimmerman has grounded out, flied to right, 0 for 2. Wilson Ramos on deck. And a strike. Zimmerman has had success against Kershaw. Coming into the game, he was hitting .368. 7 hits and a double against Clayton. Tonight, he's grounded to first and flied to right, so he hasn't pulled the ball at all. Murphy at first, nobody out. Murphy over there at first base has stolen 2. Zimmerman going after a pitch in the dirt. Boy, Kershaw gets enough strikes. When you start going after pitches noticeably out of the strike zone, you're really in trouble. 3-0 Dodgers. Murphy at first, nobody out. 0-2 to Ryan Zimmerman. Ground ball slowly to third. Turner to second for 1. No play at first. So the force play, 5-4, 1 out, and Wilson Ramos coming up.
Catcher Wilson Ramos.
There it is, the Strawberry Moon. According to the Almanac, it's the first one in 70 years. So 1 out. Ramos hit back to the box and struck out. 0 for 2. Fastball, ball 1. Ramos coming in with a big batting average, .332. And ball 2. In his years with Washington, Ramos hit .267, .265, .272. Boy, to see him come in here hitting .330, what a tribute that is to LASIK surgery. And ball 3. Since the surgery for Wilson Ramos, last year he would swing and miss 25% of the time. After surgery, about 17%. That's a pretty good success. Right behind him, Anthony Rendon. 3-0. Kershaw ready for a walk. No, ground ball into right field. Stopping at second is Zimmerman, and then he picks up and keeps going, and he is safe for third. So Zimmerman tried to slow down and then just shifted. It was a good throw by Trayce Thompson, just not quite in time.
Third baseman Anthony Rendon.
There's the base hit on a 3-0 pitch. Now Zimmerman you expect to stop at second, but instead he shifted and just did beat a great throw from Trayce Thompson. Well, if you're Ramos, you know that 3-0 Kershaw is going to be right around the plate, and you can see the ball just kicked a bit to turn his right, and by the time he brought it down for the tag, too late. So the Nationals have not had a runner at third until right now. In the 6th inning, Taylor doubled, but Worth and Harper each struck out. 98 pitches for Kershaw, and Joe Blanton is now up as Rendon checks in. And ball 1. So Kershaw's pushing it a little bit, not getting a strike. Rendon has 7 home runs, 26 runs batted in, 99 pitches, hasn't really struggled in any inning until now. And Blanton back of him. Fastball grounded into right field. So scoring easily is Zimmerman. Down to second goes Ramos, and Danny Esposito, the shortstop, will be coming up. So 3 singles here in the 7th inning. Murphy went to left field. Rendon and Ramos, right-hand batters, they grounded for singles into right field. So it is 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Kershaw now with the tying runs aboard, and Espinosa checking in. Roberts and Honeycutt looking with some concern. Espinosa hitting only .217, but you have to look out. He has a dozen home runs, 28 runs batted in. And lines it to left. Coming up is Kendrick. Nice play to backhand it. He had to get under the ball. Otherwise, he might have lost that in the lights. But Kershaw now not fooling anybody. Boy, Espinosa was all over that. And Kendrick made a fine play. Chris Heisey, who of course played for the Dodgers last year, will now come up as a pinch hitter. So the balls are hit hard here in the seventh. The Nationals get one, and here is Heisey. Chris, of course, before the Dodgers, played for Cincinnati. Chris out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, lives over in Mechanicsburg. 17th round pick by the Reds. Really had his career with them. Last year with the Dodgers, well, he was in 30 some odd games, and a pitch in the dirt goes to the backstop. And now the tying runs are at second and third with 2 out. 1 ball and no strike to Heisey. A bouncer that ran up the right arm of Grandal all the way to the backstop. Heisey, as Blanton gets ready, got his degree as an elementary school teacher. He figured that was going to be his life. Instead, he has found himself a career in baseball, starting in '06 and right up to this year with the Nationals. 1 ball and no strikes. Second and third, 2 out. Just inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Heisey has 4 home runs, 5 RBIs. It's not like he sits around. He's been in 40 games. Two balls, no strikes. 2 out. Foul back, 2-1. Heisey is an even 6-footer, 210. With the Reds back in 2011, playing every day, he had 18 home runs. With the Dodgers, he had 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in. So 2-1 to Chris Heisey. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it on a high fastball. Crowd now asking Kershaw to put him away. That would have been ball 3. Two and two. 2 out. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Dodgers lead by 2. Curveball and a fly ball to left center. Kendrick is there, and that'll be that. It was a struggle for Clayton Kershaw. He fought through it, gives up 1, and walks off leading 3-1. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. And by Energy Upgrade California. Energy tips, rebates, and financing options are available at energyupgradeca.org. Thanks to Rob Menschel, we were able to talk about the strawberry moon. And they say we should have a sweet summer. Back in 1967 when it showed, they said it ushered in the summer of love. All right. 3-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th, and Oliver Perez. Ball 1. Julio Urias is from Culiacan, Mexico, and that's exactly where Pedro is from and makes his home. Perez will be 35 in August, so he's been around a while. Big roundhouse curveball for a strike. Peterson has struck out and homered. 13 home runs, 32 runs batted in. 1-1. Sidearm fastball. That was quite a delivery. Big turn and then all of a sudden drop the arm and deal almost below decks. Oliver, drafted by the Padres, traded to the Pirates, then to the Mets, then to the Mariners, and then to the Diamondbacks, the Astros, and the Nationals. A bunt foul. So Peterson trying to get away from that side armor. Checks with the umpire. Did I try to bunt a strike? Looks like it, and strikes out. So Perez picks up a strikeout. Clayton Kershaw has made 106 pitches, and we're watching the Dodger bullpen. Clayton is not wrapped up now. He doesn't have the towel on his left arm, and Blanton, who had stopped, gets back up again. Would you send Kershaw out there? It's still pretty hot after 106. We'll see. 0-1. Fastball in on the hands. So a couple of heroes sitting quietly. Kike Hernandez, Scott Van Slyke. Then of course Clayton. 0-2. Howie is grounded to short twice. One ball and 2 strikes. So Perez gives you a different move almost every pitch. Oliver is 6'3", 210 pounds. What a delivery that is. That's one reason I'm sure he's been a professional for 16 years. You can't overpower. Look at this. The turn complete, a hesitation, racing that leg, and then suddenly here comes the ball. 1-2. Fastball hit down the right field line, foul, and out of play. One ball and 2 strikes. Ray Honeycutt talking to Clayton Kershaw. It looks like Clayton is done for the night. We'll see. Down the line for a base hit. Up with it in the corner is Harper. The throw to second, not in time. So Perez gives up a double into the right field corner. Grandal is due up and out on deck to bat for Kershaw is Kike Hernandez. So the Dodgers leading 3-1 and trying to add to it. Grandal has grounded out and struck out. So there's Clayton's numbers. 106 pitches, no walks, 8 strikeouts, 0-1. In the 7th inning, you knew he was losing it. Murphy singled to left. Zimmerman hit into a hard force play. Ramos singled to right. Rendon singled to right. Espinosa hit that sinking line drive, and a fine catch by Howie Kendrick. That really bailed him out. A.J. Ellis, his buddy, listening to him. 0-2. At the knees. So Grandal is caught looking. 2 strikeouts for Perez. And here comes Kike. Came off the bench yesterday, hitting for the pitcher, Baez. It was the 8th inning with 1 out, and he hit it in the bullpen. That tied up the game. And in the 9th inning, Grandal walked with the bases loaded. Kike, 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Giants lost 1-0. A Dodger win would cut the Giant lead to 5.5. And with a left-hander on the mound, we're going to walk Kike intentionally with 2 out and take their chances against Chase Utley. Utley has flied to center, struck out, and grounded to first. So in a moment, first and second and 2 out. Have to look almost in the history book to find out about Oliver Perez and Chase Utley. Oliver Perez and Chase Utley. Utley is 3 for 19 with a double. That would be a 158 batting average.
Number 26, Chase Utley.
So the numbers told Washington to put Kike aboard. Helps out the infield a little bit. They get a couple of force plays. 2 out, 3-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. Perez checking Kendrick. Big slow breaking ball, ball 1. Kendrick, Kike taking their leads. One ball and no strikes. 2-0. Sometimes a pitcher is at a little bit of a disadvantage on the heels of walking a hitter on 4 intentionally wide thrown. All of a sudden it breaks them out of a rhythm, doing what they're trained not to do, purposely miss the strike zone. 2-0 to Utley. Belisle and Solis in the pen. And there you go, 3-0. So Dusty thought he had the right man in there to face Utley, only to see him go 3-0. Waiting on deck, another left-hand hitter, but that's not the matchup he wanted. 3-1. Oliver Perez was a big deal when he was called up to the Padres. That's 14, 15 years ago. Coming from Mexico, he was on radio, television, Mexican newspapers. He was only 20 years old. 3rd youngest pitcher in Padre history. 3-1. Another strike. Ramos holding up 2 fingers, keeping everybody in the ballgame. 2 out, full count, so the runners will be going. And Ramos talking to Perez, I'm sure, about his delivery. At 35, he certainly appears to be in great shape. 16 years a professional. Oliver Perez, the kid from Culiacan. 3-2. Runners go. Foul back. So Kendrick to second. Hernandez back to first. Dodgers scored in the first inning on a home run by Justin Turner. They scored in the 4th inning on Turner's single to drive in Seager. They scored in the 5th inning on Jock Peterson's home run. But in the 7th inning, a tiring Clayton Kershaw gave up 3 hits and barely got out with only 1 run. Runners go. Fouled away again. Kershaw in line to pick up his 11th win against 1 loss. Runners ready once again. Runners go. Swung on, banged into center, base hit. So Kendrick will score. Hernandez to third, and as usual, Utley is ready to meet the challenge. And the Dodgers lead 4-1. Four runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. Kendrick scoring easily. Hernandez to third. Utley at first. Corey Seager has 2 doubles tonight. It's the 22nd game in which he has had more than 1 hit. Slow curveball. Ball 1. And he's behind again. Remember, he was behind Utley 2-0 and 3-0. Got it to 3-2. Gave up the base hit. Now he's behind the Seager 2-0. He's not going to be allowed to pitch against Justin Turner, I'm sure, with Matt Belisle in the pen. And he's behind 3-0. The other end of that bat, Justin Turner. 3-0 to Seager. In there. Though we'll see if he repeats it again. Just like he worked Utley. 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, and then after a couple of foul balls, base hit. And a fly ball into left center, playable, and Jason Worth for the catch. However, the Dodgers scramble. They get a double, an intentional walk, and a base hit. They say goodnight to Clayton Kershaw, but he leaves with a 4-1 lead. 4th of July, you think of America's favorite pastimes, Dodger Basework. Fireworks. Celebrate the year at the Dodger game with the Orioles and enjoy a post-game fireworks show, courtesy of Hawaiian Springs Water. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Joe Blandon picking up for Clayton Kershaw. Michael Taylor lined out, hit into a force play, doubled. 1 for 3. That's right. The paid attendance tonight is another 44,000. 44,712. Yesterday 45,900, and then we had 3 in a row at 44. 112, 998, 183. So Dodgers averaging about 45,000 a game. Meanwhile, Blanton 2 quick strikes on Taylor, with Worth and Harper due up. 4-1 Dodgers. 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Fastball, crack bat, little looper, one-handed by Seager. Nice play by Corey. That crack bat, there wasn't much behind the flight of the ball, and he was able to just catch up to it. So 1 away. Adrian Gonzalez coming up as we take another look. So Taylor out, here's Worth and then Harper. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 6 hits for the Nationals. Nationals were upended. They lost 2 in a row in San Diego. And they're having trouble getting started tonight, and finally could not do the battle with Kershaw. The Dodger bullpen relying tonight on Joe Blanton. They were a group of workhorses during the Milwaukee series, and they have the best ERA in the National League, ahead of the Mets, Washington, Chicago, and the Giants. And boy, they've worked hard to get there. 0-2. Ball 1. Blanton with a record of 3-2, good ERA of 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jason Worth. Jason tonight struck out in the 1st inning, singled to right in the 4th, struck out again in the 6th. Of course, that was Kershaw's work. Clayton had 8 strikeouts, no walks, 6 hits, 1 run allowed. 2-2. Fast one, little sinker to it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jason came in here hitting .250, 10 home runs, 37 runs batted in. 6 players have hit home runs in double figures for the Nationals. They've hit 96 home runs. High fly ball, shallow center. Peterson is there. So we have 2 out. For Bryce Harper, a very humbling game. Against Kershaw, bad ball, strike 3. Against Kershaw, good strike, strike 3. Against Kershaw, off the plate, strike 3. So Harper strikes out 3 of the 8 strikeouts. Now he faces Blanton. 14 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Ball one. Last year, 42 home runs, 99 runs batted in. One and one. Little ground ball to third. Turner has to come back to get it, and Bryce Harper winds up with a gift. A single up along third. So I guess somehow or other, the philosophy of the ball player, it always works out. So a few line drives that might have been caught, he gets paid back now with a little single. So Harper, who set a record in that game against the Cubs, he walked 6 times. Here's Murphy, grounded out, fly to left, single to left. Murphy, remember, in the division series, gave the Dodgers a terrible time. 3 home runs, 7 hits. Yogi Berra had 3 home runs and 9 hits in the World Series against the Dodgers back in '56. Reggie Jackson, 5 home runs, 9 hits in the '77 World Series. Ground ball gobbled up by Adrian. That's that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. Well, now aren't you? Oh yeah, that grin is what we paid all the money for. Sure, it's 4-1 Dodgers. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. 4-1 Dodgers, 8th inning. Justin Turner facing Samuel Robert Solis out of Minneapolis. Lives in Arizona. Went to school at the University of San Diego. He's a big fella, 6'5", 230, Foul ball down the line, 1-1. Solis, drafted by Arizona, turned it down to go to college. Eventually signed with the Nationals. Off speed for a strike. A couple of years ago, Solis' mom and dad bought a 75-acre farm in South Africa with the intention of starting a home for children orphaned by the AIDS pandemic. 2-2. So Clayton and Ellen Kershaw might check in with Sammy Solis about his good work. Mom and dads, especially in South Africa. Down goes Turner. He had homered, singled, flied to right, and now strikes out. MLB TV Premium, that's the #1 live streaming sports service. Delivers everything you have to come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game, live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It also includes a free subscription to the At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB TV for details. Here's Gonzalez. Strike. Fly to center, hit into a double play, and walk. Breaking ball missing, 1-1. As big as he is, Sammy Solis had Tommy John surgery. Interesting picture with Kenley Jansen getting ready in the bullpen. I'm sure if you've been following the Dodgers at all, you know Kenley Jansen tied with Eric Gagne, 161 saves. He could get out in front if he picks up that save tonight. 2-2 to Adrian Gonzalez. Solis on the third base side of the rubber. Ground ball up the middle, but that's what Murphy was. And we have 2 down in the 8th inning. Dodgers lead 4-1. Couple of streaks on the line. Dodgers trying to win their 4th in a row. The Nationals on the edge of losing 3 in a row. Thompson struck out twice, flied to left, strike, 0-1. About that camp in South Africa, that was, oh gosh, a good 5-6 years ago, and they had 32 kids and 20 staff members. It has grown to a much bigger camp for the children. Ball 2, as Sammy said, you think, oh gee, I just gave up a home run and lost the game. And then you go out to Africa and there's kids living in 3x5 shacks. They have absolutely nothing. 2-2. Trace 0 for 3. It'll be Zimmerman, Ramos, Rendon for the Nationals in the 9th. Two and 2. And ball 3. Peterson on deck. Peterson has struck out twice and hit a home run. 4-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th. Down he goes. So Trace has a tough time. Strikes out 3 times, goes 0 for 4. And now the moment that Dodger fans have been waiting for, and so is Kenley. getting ready for his 162nd save. We'll see. Kenley Jansen trying for that 162nd save that will move him beyond Derek Gagne. Standing in his way, Ryan Zimmerman, Wilson Ramos, and Anthony Rendon. Zimmerman grounded to first, flied to right, hit into a force play. Looking to see what Ramos and company have done against Kenley Jansen. We'll start with Zimmerman. Strike. Zimmerman 1 for 6, hitting 167. Next up, Wilson Ramos. He's 0 for 2. 0-2. And then you would have Anthony Rendon, and he's 0 for 2. Bryce Harper is really the only one. He's 2 for 5 in the past, but of course he's having a terrible night tonight. Off speed, still 0-2. Ryan Zimmerman, followed by Wilson Ramos, Anthony Rendon, and if anybody gets on, Danny Espinosa. Scott Kazmir tomorrow night will try to keep it going. Tanner Roark will be on the mound for Washington. And down goes Zimmerman. So 9 Nationals have struck out. Kershaw had 8. Now Jansen picks up 1. Wilson Ramos hit back to the box, struck out, single to right. Dodgers 4 runs, 7 hits. Nationals 1 run, 7 hits. Kershaw in line for his 11th win and 1 loss. He will be 10-2 lifetime against Washington, and he will have beaten them 8 straight. 0-1. Ramos, whose vision has improved dramatically through surgery, having a big year. Only run came in the 7th inning for Washington. 3 hits against a tiring Kershaw. 0-2 the count. In a smaller version, Jansen pitching like Kershaw. There goes the bat. It's still 0-2. Jansen has walked 4, and he has struck out 34. Talking about earlier, Kershaw with his slider, Jansen with his cutter. One and two. Rendon on deck has struck out, flied to right, singled to right. The only time tonight Washington had back-to-back hits. 7th inning. Ramos and Rendon. Got him. So Jansen comes in, strikes out 2, and now it's Anthony Rendon. Kenley 1 out away from passing Eric Gagne, and the phrase that we'll always remember, game over. Rendon 1 for 3. Ball 1. The first hit by Washington tonight was Yasmari Petit, the pitcher, who singled with 2 out back in the 3rd. Finally put together 3 hits in the 7th inning for their only run. One and one. Roark and Kazmir tomorrow night. $44,712 in attendance. Light breeze, but it's blowing different way, blowing from right to left. That's not usual. Another strike. One ball and 2 strikes. Everybody up. 44,712. Little ground ball. Turner, short hops, throws, gets him, and Kenley Jansen has done it. He is the greatest saver in Dodger franchise history. 162. Congratulations indeed. There are some times we never thought anyone would pass Eric Gagne's 161, but it has happened tonight to Kenley Jansen. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for Washington. Kenley Jansen certainly gets the honors. A rather historic moment for him. Kershaw got the win. Clayton is now 11-1. He is 10-2 against Washington, and he has beaten them 8 straight times. But Jansen, 13 pitches, got the job done. So tomorrow night, Dodgers and Nationals, game 2 of the 3. Talk to you then. Till then, wishing you all a very pleasant good evening, everybody.